Hello, welcome to German Trash Metal. That didn't really sound that reasonable thing to say. Now, be it as may, this is one of my favorites of 2020, which just came late for review. I was already kind of ready to give up on this, but I wanted to so badly feature this one, and as a physical copy that I once again emailed to the label representative like, hey man, could I get a copy of this one for my journal to be reviewed, because let's be honest about it, this was one of my favorites of 2020 and my absolute favorite so far of 2020 in terms of thrash metal. Why so? Well, I was listening to the digital copy of the Skeleton Pit album Lost to Lynch, and I was already like, man, this band kicks so much ass. Could I get a review copy? And then suddenly weeks and months passed and nothing really happened, and I was like, it would be kind of a shame to not to skip this one and not talk about it, because this is indeed a really good album. Then some miracles happened, ropes were pulled and all that stuff, and this finally came here early May 2021. So only about 7 months later since the release date, this one is right here, and it's definitely worth it. I gave this once again a few spins, and man, this is my definite thrash metal favorite of 2020, because it kicks ass so goddamn well. Now, last year, that is 2020, was quite good when it came to thrash metal. You had good albums by bands such as Testament and Sodom, and some other bands which did some decent work in that department, but nothing really groundbreaking came. I mean, there was not something like, wow, my head is gonna explode because it's so goddamn good. But then Skeleton Pit came, and like said, this is my favorite. This even kicks ass of those older bands like Sodom, which is, doing solid work, but then again, maybe not doing so much greatness that this couldn't beat it, because Lost to Lynch is so goddamn good album. Now this runs barely more than 30 minutes, like technically says 40 minutes, but don't buy that shit. You're pretty much done with it by the time you're having a lunch with your Raining Blood. Kidding aside, the thing here is, everything on this album feels like it's so compact that you want to give it another spin. So 39 minutes later, you're like, so did it already finish? I'm going to give it another go. And the reason is this. All these tracks are good. There are no weaklings whatsoever. And on top of that, it sounds brilliantly good. Now, the guitar sound is as close to perfection, in my opinion, when it comes to this kind of thrash metal. Now, it sounds kind of a timeless. This could have come out already back in the 80s, but then again, it's also very modern sounding. I mean, you have this really good production without sounding sterile, without sounding like too much like, hey, this is one of those big label bands which goes to this high-end studio with a high-end, highly paid producer who says do this and that, and everything kind of sounds powerful but kind of soulless. But this one has a lot of soul in it, and I don't refer to the music genre. I refer to how the album actually sounds. More so, the vocals. They're so kind of a tightly, it's almost like screaming. It's almost like black metal raspy shrieking. But it's not. It's just kind of a unique style with the vocalist, and I like it. Some people might have to get used to that. But in my opinion, this is one of the things which make thrash metal so goddamn great. Once you have that kind of a unique sound per vocalist. I mean, we're also talking about the kind of a big four kind of bands. Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax. They all have different kind of vocalists. Also bands like Exodus or Sodom and all that stuff. So you really have that unique sound. And that is what Skeleton Pit also has. So it's kind of fair to compare these guys to the classic bands, because there is certain kind of personality which just kind of seeps through the music. So once you have these killer songs, you have the killer production, and you have those nice trademark vocals, what could go wrong? Basically nothing. Now my only thing I'm gonna bitch about, just a tiny little bit, is that this, based on a few initial listening studies, it doesn't seem to have any of those tracks that really get stuck in your head. The kind of hit songs, if you will. And if you don't know what I'm referring with hit songs, well, go to any of those classic thrash metal bands, and usually people are able to say some of the songs. It might be just, hey, for whom the bell tolls. Okay, it's gonna be Angel of Death, and that kind of stuff. People can name drop you songs because some songs are just so memorable. But Skeleton Pete doesn't really seem to have that. Maybe over the years that will happen, but I kind of doubt it, because usually once you hear kind of a killer song, it doesn't take you multiple listens to figure it out. But like also said, it doesn't really matter, because the overall feeling with this album is that it's really, really strong. So it's definitely one of those gems I sadly couldn't review back in the 2020. It could have been on the best of 2020 list, at least for me. So I hope you give it a chance, because this is really, really good. One of the better thrash metal albums to come in many, many years. So I hope more people will find about it, more people will listen to it. And man, I hope to see this band live one day. This really, really kicks ass. So give it a go, and what can I say? I hope you love it. Thanks for watching, and should you like the content, click that goddamn subscribe button. Cherry out.